can do in order to make sure that our network is secure from the attacks that we have discussed and actually practiced during this section. So if you don't have access to your administrator dashboard of your router, I really suggest you guys to have this access by calling your internet providers, because it's an exercise for you, okay? It's good to see these dashboards. It's good to get involved in that kind of decision like your password or ESSID. Of course, the layouts will be different for you, or the menus options could be different for you, but you get the gist, right? So you will have the options like enabling the WPA or choosing an ESSID and everything over here. By the way, make sure you don't use WEP anytime, okay? So make sure you choose WPA2 or above. And over here, you can see that it has the 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz options as well. I use them both. I don't believe it's going to make you much more secure or less secure to use 2.4 or 5. So some argue that some kind of wireless adapters are not compatible with 5 gigahertz, like they cannot capture the packets like with Aerodom using the 5 gigahertz routers, but some of the adapters do. So it really doesn't make you much more secure. So many people use this both ways, like I do right now. Like I enabled 2.4 and 5 gigahertz because for some reason 5 gigahertz cannot extend to every room in my house, and 2.4 does. So it depends on the situation, but most of the time you will see them both enabled, and it doesn't mean anything. But the thing that matters is that you're going to have to use a complex and long password for your WPA key, because as you have seen, the longer it is, it's very hard to find it, and the more complex it is, it's very hard to find it. Okay, so even if somebody tries to like try all the possibilities, it will take so much time for them. They won't be able to break it if you use long and complex passwords for your router. So the main idea over here is to use the WPA2 along with a complex and long password. If you do that, I believe you will be safe in your home network. And of course, if you cannot reach your like the company network administrator accounts or settings, it's fine. I believe your company is having this kind of measures against the attackers already, but if they're not, maybe it's your duty to just let them know. So I'm going to show you one last thing. We haven't talked about this very much, but it's called the WPS. So it's actually a way to authenticate yourself rather than the WPA or WP encryption. So it's used something like it's used in printers, for example. So you push a button on a printer and it connects to the internet using the router, right? So WPS by push button is okay, but WPS by pin, it's not okay, because in pin numbers, it's like the ATM pin numbers, like it has only 4 digits, and it's actually easy to brute force it. It's actually easy to break it. So this WPS won't be, I believe, won't be enabled by default in your situation. So I have a thing that I use with WPS, so it's enabled for me right now, but it's not enabled by pin. So it's much more secure to be using this by push button, so it's okay. But if you have it enabled by pin, then maybe you may want to disable it if you're not using it, because there is a tool called Reaver. We haven't seen this because it doesn't work most of the time, because this WPS section or WPS feature doesn't come enabled by default, and nobody uses it unless they know what they are doing. But you may want to check that as well. So this is all you need to do in order to make yourself a little bit more secure.